That's the same thing? Oh, got it. Fine then. All right. So welcome to game week 2. Somasish on seat 1, Aniket on seat 2, Pranjal on seat 3, Anupama on seat 4. And 30 seconds on the clock. I don't have the timer yet, but I'll let you know when 10 seconds are left. First question coming up for Somasish. Here it comes. So this is the international set, right? Dead Man's Bones is a rock duo of Zach Shields and which actor? Apart from vocals, this actor plays keyboards for the band, a skill that came in handy for his 2016 musical film, where he is seen playing I Ran by a flock of seagulls. আসো আওয়াজ করো না 10 seconds.
Bruce.
Aniket?
Link.
I didn't hear you, Aniket.
Gosling. Ryan Gosling.
Ryan Gosling is correct. It's Ryan Gosling. Somasish, your second direct. The Sporting Alien, English Sports Lost Blank is a book by Mihir Bose that examines English sport and reports how it shapes the lives of both English people and millions around the world. Fill in the blanks with the word that has mythical association with an English legend and is also the name of a US president's administration.
Dragons.
What?
Dragons.
I didn't hear you, but not that, I think. Pranjal?
Camelot.
Camelot is correct. English mythical association and also JFK's administration. Camelot is correct. Aniket, your directs. A Pair of Blue Eyes is a novel by Thomas Hardy, serialized between 1872 and 1873. While it is considered one of Hardy's minor works, the focus of critical interest is the scene in which Henry Knight, the second suitor, reviews the entire history of the world as it dangles perilously for dear life. Reputedly, the origin of which trope, the original Italian Job, ends with this trope in a very literal sense.
Cliffhanger.
Cliffhanger is correct. He's hanging from a cliff. This is cliffhanger. Aniket, second direct. In Assassin's Creed Syndicate, which scientist is found to be investigating a factory that produces an opium-based drug called soothing syrup? The game takes place in London in 1868, and as an additional clue, it is paleontologist Richard Owen who was responsible for an article defaming this scientist in real life, who provides clues about the syrup in the game.
Darwin.
Charles Darwin is correct. He looks like that actor, no? Forgot the How I Met Your Mother actor. Anyways, Barney Stinson. Pranjal, your directs. Seminal 1979 Yuri Noshtian film has been voted in multiple polls as the greatest animation film ever made. Also hailed by John Lasseter and Hayao Miyazaki, it was originally titled The Little Grey Wolf Will Come, after a Russian lullaby, and is famous for its classical musical soundtrack. It should not be confused with the 2015 fantasy horror flick starring Salma Hayek.
Hedgehog and the Fog.
No. Anupama?
I don't know. Pass.
Somasish?
Pass.
Aniket?
Peter and the Wolf.
Not that. So this is something called Tale of Tales. Tale of Tales. Pranjal, your direct. Archivist Adrian Glew recently discovered a passage in Henry Simpson's autobiography about his time spent as a sculptor at a French cathedral in the 19th century. There, he talked about a repair work going on, not unlike now, when Simpson met Monsieur Trajan, a sculptor suffering from kyphosis, and a Monsieur Le Bossu. Several theories suggest that Trajan and Bossu may have been the inspiration behind which fictional character?
The Hunchback of Notre Dame.
That is good enough. Quasimodo or Hunchback of Notre Dame is correct. Victor Hugo was inspired by these gentlemen to create the character Hunchback of Notre Dame. Kyphosis is the technically correct anatomical description of a hunchback or humpbacked person. Anupama, your directs. Several controversies surround shows created by TV writer Ryan Murphy. In the show Feud, Betty and Joan, which dramatized the rivalry between Betty Davis and Joan Crawford, another actor that was portrayed by Catherine Zeta-Jones took issue with how she was portrayed like a vulgar gossip monger. Which Hollywood star is this who in 1965 became the first female president of the jury at the Cannes Film Festival? Her mother named her after the heroine in Twelfth Night. This is Catherine Zeta-Jones.
Portia de Rossi.
Could you repeat?
Portia de Rossi.
Oh, not
No,
De
no.
Rossi. Somasish.
Sorry. Sorry.
Pass.
Pranjal.
Pass.
Aniket.
Pass.
It's
She was
Viola
also-
Davis.
Yeah,
It's Viola
happened?
Davis.
not
Right?
Viola Davis.
Hmm.
Viola Davis wasn't there that time. Did you say Viola Davis? I'll give you a hint. She was there in Gone with the Wind.
Scarlett.
Oh,
this
Scar-
Vivian Lee.
Not the lead
Vivian.
actor.
Oh, okay.
Olivia de
Olivia de-
Havilland.
Yeah.
It's Olivia de Havilland.
Okay.
Okay, I got totally confused with the play. I picked Merchant of Venice instead.
Anupama, your second direct. The flags for these two countries are almost identical, two horizontal stripes, red over white, but their dimensions differ. One flag has a height to width ratio of 2:3, while the other one is 4:5. Both flags date back hundreds of years. One is based on the heraldic colors in the shield of Monaco's princely arms, and the other dates back to its association with the Majapahit Empire. Name both countries.
I'll go with Thailand and Monaco.
No, Somasish.
Indonesia and Monaco.
That is correct. Indonesia and Monaco. With that, we come to round 2 now. Somasish is direct coming up. Super Science Friends is an animated series and later video game about a team of super-powered scientists who travel through time fighting Nazis. Which main character on Super Science Friends, a physicist, chemist, and a master of radioactivity, is voiced by Sasha Bova in episode 1, Hedy Gregor in episodes 2 to 5, and Agnieszka Wisniewska in episode 6.
Mary Curie.
Marie Curie is correct. Second direct. Designer duo Levan Pasinashvili and David Babishvili from Georgia created this project called Digital Chronicles, where they have creatively stylized a year from a notable event with the digit or digits being an indicator towards the event. What event happened in the mentioned year where the B and the C form a narrow passage for the number to fit through, representing the narrow passage on which the historical event was placed out? At least 300 men were involved on one side.
Battle of Thermopylae.
This is the Battle of Thermopylae. Aniket, your directs. Shown here is a thoroughbred whose image has been recreated that won the Kentucky Derby in 1877, which is jockey William Walker. Identify the horse who shares his name with a German spa town whose repetitive name means bathing.
Baden.
Aniket, your voice is not
Okay,
audible
sorry.
at all.
Baden.
Baden is correct. Second direct. In 2023 screenlight thriller Missing, the story is told through the perspective of social media apps and add-ons. Give me a second. Uh, Including Google Maps. While it helps June in the firm, Google Maps previously used a variant of which projection and therefore could not accurately show areas around the Earth's poles. This projection is named after a Flemish cartographer famous for binding maps that used his cylindrical and Eurocentric map projection into the Atlas of 1595, the first recorded use of the term Atlas.
Market or projection?
Yeah, this is Mercator projection. Pranjal, your directs. Born in China, Chua Miati, pronounced as Chua Miati, is widely acknowledged as one of the greatest living artists today. In which country? His portrait of Yusuf Ishaq, the first president of the country, is reproduced today on all currency notes circulated there.
Malaysia.
Not Malaysia. Anupama?
I'm gonna pass.
Somasish?
Pass.
Aniket?
Pass.
So
Pass.
Pranjal said Malaysia. Nobody took a shot at any of the nearby countries. Malaysia, Indonesia has already
There are
done. What
several
else
of
could it
them.
be?
There are
There are so
several of
many.
them.
Oh shit, it is Singapore.
Singapore. Probably one of the closer ones after Indonesia, given that Indonesia is already done. Pranjal, your second direct. Mihir Bose's books, Blank Unlimited and Blank Disunited, are both on which football club? While the first has the tagline, The Rise and the Rise of the World's Premier Football Club, which deals its transformation into a money-making machine, the second has the tagline, Trouble and Takeover at the World's Richest Football Club.
Manchester United.
That is correct. The other day somebody said Manchester. I had to prompt, then he said Manchester City. So I really felt bad for him. But it is Manchester United. Anupama, your directs. June uses the cameras to tell which virtual assistant, powered by Nuance Communications, a speech technology company, to call the police in Missing's final moments. Co-founded by Dak Kitthaus, Tom Gruber, and Adam Cheyer, Kitthaus named the virtual assistant by shortening the name of a co-worker in Norway, whose old Norse name is composed of the elements Sigurd means victory and Fridr means beautiful.
Siri?
Nice answer. Hey Siri, this is Siri. Second direct. This design from Digital Chronicle shows the year when an author killed himself using his favorite shotgun. The 9 and the 6 placed adjacent to each other form the two holes reminiscent of the bore or the hollow interior of the double-barrel shotgun. Which author? Uh-oh. One second, one second. Yeah. Is it 1 second? Yeah, sorry about that.
I'll just go with this. I'll just say Hemingway.
That is correct. This is Ernest
That's
Hemingway.
correct.
Yeah.
He died
Shot
in
himself using his
1963.
favorite shotgun.
Okay.
This is Ernest Hemingway. Round 3 is Somasish now. What term did psychologist Dr. Paul Ekman give to the brief involuntary facial movements that humans make when they feel intense emotion, an innate universal human behavior? He coined it based on his experiments on human lie detection and was able to identify 7 of these.
Blushing.
What did you say?
Blushing.
Not blushing. Anupama?
Ticks.
No. Pranjal?
Pass.
Aniket? Something called micro expressions.
Wow.
No idea.
Somasish, your direct. Shown here is a thoroughbred that won the Kentucky Derby in 1881, which is jockey James McLaughlin. Identify the horse whose name might remind you of the archaic spelling of the most popular religion in Asia. Ten seconds, Somasish.
Muslim.
Not Muslim. Pranjal?
Pass.
Anupama?
I'll also pass.
Aniket?
Pass.
So,
Is it
Muslim is not the most popular
Muslim?
religion in Asia. Huh?
What?
Hindu.
Oh, it's Hinduism.
Hindu.
It is Hindu, Hindo,
Hindu.
Hindu. But also they have asked to give points for Hindu. So you would have just said Hindu and gotten points. This is Hindu. Aniket, your directs. The largest terrestrial arthropod is known to have the strongest grip in the animal kingdom and for the ability to carry away food, thus earning the moniker robber. These creatures are named after which tropical plant, which surprisingly does not make up the majority of its diet. Ten seconds. Get an
I'll say
answer.
palm tree.
Palm is correct. This is
Yes.
palm crab or
Nice.
coconut crab. Both are acceptable. Palm crab or coconut crab.
Actually thinking between those two for a while.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so both are acceptable. Second date, Aniket. The story goes that the author J. Rider Haggard, who traveled through Swaziland in the 1880s, was inspired by the twin peaks of the Ezulwini Valley and incorporated into his 1885 work King Solomon's Mines, which in local legend says is located within the mountains. Identify the landmark with an anatomical name paying a tribute to a wife of Solomon. Ten seconds now, Aniket.
Bathsheba's nose.
I didn't hear you. What did you say?
Sheba's nose.
Bathsheba's nose, right?
Yeah.
Have to move on. Pranjal,
Pass.
Anupama,
Pass.
Somasish,
Pass.
Had you just said Shiba, I would have prompted you. You said Bathsheba, then no, so both are wrong. You are
Oh,
specifically
okay.
wrong. This
That's
is
good.
Shiba's breast.
Oh, breast.
Shiba's breast.
Mm.
Pranjal, which scientist or polymath plays an important role in Assassin's Creed 3 as a body womanizer? His appearance involved him looking for the missing pages of his first almanac and the signing of the Declaration of Independence. Interestingly, he is thus far the only character in the Assassin's Creed franchise to be portrayed by different actors in all his appearances.
Franklin?
What did you say?
Franklin.
Yeah, this is Benjamin Franklin. Second direct. Early in his career, Argentine musician, composer, and record producer Gustavo Santaolalla composed the score for which Alejandro González Iñárritu debut movie released in 2000. The movie contains 3 distinct stories connected by a car crash in Mexico City and became a landmark in hyperlink cinema. Mani Ratnam's Yuva, which is made in Tamil as Aitha Ezut, is loosely inspired by this movie.
Amores Perros?
Amores Perros is correct.
Yes.
Anupama, your directs. A gravestone at Norwich Cathedral suggests that a certain Elizabeth Frank was born on April 13, 1736, and she died on February 20, 1736. In 2016, David Berwick, a tour guide at the cathedral, suggested that both dates are accurate. How is this obvious anomaly explained?
Switch to the Gregorian calendar.
So I prompt you, complete answer. Complete answer.
I said switch to the Gregorian calendar.
Yeah, I prompted you on that.
I don't know what else to add.
Can I move ahead? So I'll move ahead then.
By the Anglican Church. I don't know. I don't know what
Somasish?
else.
Julian calendar to Gregorian calendar.
So you have to say Julian calendar. That's there in the answer as well. So the switch from Julian to Gregorian, had you said Gregorian to Julian in case, I wouldn't have even prompted, I would have had to move on. So this is a Julian to Gregorian. You just said Gregorian, which is correct, but partially and just technically.
Yeah, but I
correct.
said switch to the Gregorian
Yeah, but
calendar.
which is why I prompted you. I didn't say you were technically correct, so I prompted you. Otherwise, I wouldn't have prompted you. But you didn't say Julian second time as well. So I was looking for Julian. Your second direct now. The Wizards project was a research project at the University of California by Ekman Moreno Sullivan that studied people's ability to detect lies. It was initially named after which Greek philosopher who looked into people's faces using a lamp, claiming to be looking for an honest man?
Diogenes.
That is correct, Diogenes.
Yes.
Round 4 with Somasish now. One of the best uses of cliffhangers was by Charles Dickens in his works. Which work from 1841 led to riots in the dock of New York Harbor by Dickens fanboys as they waited for a British ship carrying the next installment of the book and them yelling out, "Is Little Nell dead?"
House.
What?
Bleak House.
Pranjal?
Pass.
Anupama?
A Tale of Two Cities.
Aniket?
Pass.
Little Dorrit?
No. This is the old Curiosity Shop. The old Curiosity Shop. Somash is your second direct. A certain full-length term is used by the Persian emperors to refer to themselves, a tradition followed by the Achaemenids who unified Persia, as well as the last ruler of Iran, Muhammad Reza Pahlavi. Zewd II of Ethiopia held an official title called Negeste, negest, a necessarily gendered variation of this Persian term. Just tell us what negiste, negest means in English, a variation on the Persian title.
King of Kings or Shahanshah? Got lost. I said King of Kings for this.
Yeah, we waited on that. I was anyways checking the answer. So I'll prompt you on King of Kings or Shahanshah. Which is why I had to wait because you went off on
Okay.
prompt.
Emperor of Emperors?
No, now I have to move ahead. Pranjal,
Queen of Queens.
could you repeat?
Queen of Queens.
Not Queen of Queens. Aniket,
Pass.
Anupama,
I don't know. Pass.
somebody just take the puzzles from Somasish and Pranjal and put the correct answer. It is Queen of
Queen of
Kings.
Kings.
Queen of
Okay.
Kings is the right answer. King of
Okay.
Kings is a like Queen of Kings is a variation on Shahanshah. So I prompted on Shahanshah or King of Kings, and Queen of Queens is wrong. So bad luck. Aniket, you're direct. This Ryan Murphy show has child physical and psychological abuse, lobotomies, and other inhuman medical treatments. The disturbing contents force viewers to urge Netflix to add a trigger warning, with one fan suggesting blood, gore, and murder. But there's lesbophobia and child abuse too. Show named after the infamous antagonist in a Ken Casey book.
Ratchet.
Ratched is correct. This is Nurse Ratched. Second direct. In his 1999 book, Sports Blank, Mihir Bose discusses the scandals and secrecies of personalities such as Mike Tyson, Martina Navratilova, Magic Johnson, etc. He appropriately titled the book after which place a hub of scandalous activities in the ancient past. A 2022 film about the transition of Hollywood from silent to sound movies that shares the same title, and a 2010 British documentary film about the record-breaking West Indies cricket team of the 1970s and 80s features the place in its title.
Babylon.
Babylon is also correct. Pranjal, your directs. The works of Paul Ekman inspired crime drama TV series that ran from 2009 to 2011, starring Tim Roth as Dr. Cal Lightman, an expert in body language, specifically micro expressions. Lightman assisted federal law agencies in criminal investigations.
Fringe.
No, not that. Anupama?
Is it The Mentalist?
Not Mentalist. Somasish?
Pass.
Aniket?
Pass.
This is a show called Lie to Me. Lie to Me. Right. So, Pranjal, you're direct. A brilliant example of a cliffhanger is which 2012 thriller novel by James Patterson and Michael Ledwidge. And as it's never known which animal might attack next or which character might die. No survivor is safe, as a pack of animals has gone aggressive due to excessive cell phone use and automobile exhaust, and has escaped into densely populated areas. The oldest surviving example of the title of the novel is at the Schönbrunn in Vienna.
Man-eaters of Savo.
No. Somasish?
Zoo.
Nice answer. So did you get from the novel or the
No,
last
from
image?
Schönbrunn.
Schönbrunn. The oldest zoo is in Schönbrunn in Austria.
Oh, okay. Nice.
So the Vienna Zoo is correct. Anupama, you're direct. While most of its kind is prized for the flesh, this prehistoric creature is prized for its blood, which is used to make Limulus amebocyte lysate, which is used for the detection of bacterial endotoxins in medical applications. Identify this distinctive arthropod that is named for its hard shell being shaped like a U-shaped piece of metal.
Hmm,
10 seconds now.
don't know. Trilobite.
Was the guess in the other game as well. Aniket,
You're on mute, Aniket.
Horseshoe
pass.
crab.
Oh, you said something. I thought you were passing. Horseshoe crab is correct. This is horseshoe crab. U-shaped metal, piece of metal, horseshoe crab. Anupama, your second direct. The highest point in Maryland, identify the geographical entity that is a ridge of the Allegheny Mountains in the central Appalachian mountain range named after a central anatomical feature with 33 units.
Hmm, is it um Adam's rib?
Pranjal,
Pass.
Somasish.
Spinal or backbone?
Backbone is correct. Backbone mountain. Spinal is also good enough guess, but you said backbone. Backbone mountain is correct. Round 5 is Somasish. 1981 painting by Chua Miyati is called Vanishing Scene of Blank Blank, with the blanks representing a Singapore locale that is, as the title suggests, better known today for its seafood and nightlife scene, including Harry's Bar, where Nick Leeson was a regular, than for the mode of transport one sees here. Fill in the blank.
Water boat?
Not water boat. Pranjal,
Boat key.
that is correct. Just in case key you meant
QUAY.
that only I thought. Boat key is correct. So much is a second direct. These two flags share the same dimensions and basic green, yellow, red design of the vertical stripes, although there are slight shade differences in the colors. In addition, one flag is distinguished by its green star in the central stripe. Name either of these two African countries that share borders. Anyone would do.
Cameroon?
Not Cameroon. You said Cameroon, right?
Yeah.
Not Cameroon. Aniket?
Togo.
Not Togo. I don't know if it's in Africa. Anyways, Pranjal.
Senegal.
Senegal is one of them. Senegal is one of them. Anyone for the other? The one with the star?
Gambia.
Gambia.
Mali.
Okay.
Senegal or Mali. Aniket, your directs. The Futurist is the debut solo album by which actor whose song Broken appears in the end credits of the 2005 film Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, in which he features as a lead actor.
Keanu Reeves.
No. Anupama?
That was my guess too. Pass.
Pranjal?
Robert Downey Jr.
Robert Downey Jr. is correct. He was there in Kiss Kiss Bang Bang.
Okay.
Aniket, your second direct. In 2013, Gustavo Santaolalla composed a score for which John Wells movie, which was produced by George Clooney and starred an ensemble star cast consisting of Meryl Streep, Sam Shepard, Julia Roberts, Benedict Cumberbatch, amongst others. The movie was written by Tracy Letts and was based on his 2007 Pulitzer Prize-winning play of the same name. Ten seconds.
Carnage.
Anupama?
Pass.
Somasish?
Pass.
Pranjal?
Pass. Not
So
August
movie
Osage County, right?
Uh-huh.
Not August Osage County.
Yeah, it is August Osage
It is
County.
okay.
It is August Osage County. Julia Roberts, Meryl Streep, and everyone else is there.
Okay.
Pranjal, your directs. Identifies the Ryan Murphy show that received backlash from the victims' families, calling it insensitive. Several viewers also criticized Netflix for giving it a LGBTQ plus tag since the titular character was gay.
Dahmer.
Dahmer is good enough. The Jeffrey Dahmer study. Had you said just Monster, would have prompted you. This is Monster, the Jeffrey Dahmer story. Second direct. The flag for each of these countries boasts an identical design but with the colors reversed. Both have the origins of the Danish flag, which is the red field and white Scandinavian cross. Identify both countries.
Norway and Iceland.
Norway and Iceland is correct. Your directs. One of Chua Miati's most popular sculpture is the bust of the composer Zubir Said, who composed a fair bit of film music in his lifetime but is largely remembered today in Singapore for which specific composition?
I don't know. National anthem of Singapore.
Yeah, that is correct. This is the national anthem of Singapore. Your second direct. A cognate term in Ge'ez is found in the Ethiopian Orthodox Tewahedo church called Kiddusi Kiddusan, where the tabot is kept and only the clergy might enter. In Kerala's Nasrani tradition, this is mostly kept behind a red veil and only revealed during the central part of the main Nasrani ritual. What is this term that refers to the inner sanctuary of the tabernacle where the Old Testament God first made his appearance?
I'm gonna move my screen. I don't know. Sanctum Sanctorum.
Not Sanctum Sanctorum. Somasish?
Pass.
Aniket?
This is holiest of the holy, holiest of holy places, holiest of holy temple.
You repeat why? One second, really, it's my bad. Yeah.
Holiest of the holy.
Holiest of the holy. Since it's a term, I have to prompt you on this.
Okay. No, it's basically the holiest part of the temple. So it's like the holiest of the holy.
I'll give it
holiest
to
of the
you.
holy
I'll
room.
give it to you. It's not the answer here. I'm not sure. Prompt was definitely in order, even though it's not written. But since it's a term, I might have to
There's-
check it later on. Okay. So it's called
There's
Holy
one-
of Holies.
Yeah, I think should be
It's
fine. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, I
but you,
think you should give it to me.
yeah, then it's fine. So everybody
Yeah, I think
agrees
that
as
should
well.
be fine. It's just
Because the next time also you were not only close, you gave the right answer. I just wasn't sure if they wanted the exact term or that thing, but
Okay.
it's fine.
yeah, it should be fine.
You gave the right answer only. Round 6 starts with Somasish.
Can we please pick up the pace a little bit?
Yeah, sure, sure.
Yeah.
Macrochiera campferi has the greatest leg span of any known arthropod, reaching up to 3.7 meter, 12.1 feet from claw to claw. It is named after an island nation it is commonly found in and another arthropod. Identify the creature.
What?
Say something.
No.
10 seconds now.
Jamaican spider.
Anupama,
Madagascar.
Aniket,
Pass.
Pranjal.
Pass.
Not Jamaican, Japanese. Japanese spider crab. It's Japanese
I mean,
spider
there
crab.
was no clue to get the
Japan.
identification.
So much is your second direct. In Missing, June tries to use which app to hire someone to retrieve CCTV footage from the Cartagena hotel and her mother and her mother's boyfriend went missing from. She soon realizes that she should try the Colombian version of this online and mobile marketplace that she had no time to buy dog food, basing it on the idea of neighbors helping neighbors. Ten seconds, Somashish.
Etsy.
No. Anupama?
Next door.
No. Aniket?
Pass.
Pranjal?
Craigslist.
No. This is task
Why
rabbit.
nothing? Oh, that's
Task rabbit.
Okay.
Aniket, your directs. Shown here is an astronomical clock inside the Exeter Cathedral in southwest England. This clock supposedly led to the origins of which 18th century nursery rhyme. Although apocryphal, it is true that animal fat was used to lubricate the gears and ropes, which invited the said menace to climb inside and chew on the ropes.
Dickory dog.
The mouse went up the clock, so mouse is the said menace. Nice answer. Second direct. This design from Digital Chronicle shows the year when a certain literary piece by an Italian author was published. The one is stylized to represent the most well-known attribute of the titular character. Which literary piece? Literary is it? It should be literary piece.
Pinocchio.
Nice answer. The Adventures of Pinocchio by Carlo Collodi. You can see the one extended. It's another part denoting the nose of Pinocchio. Pranjal, your directs. Shown is a thoroughbred that won the Kentucky Derby in 1935 with his jockey William Saunders. Identify the horse who shares his name with a city in the USA and a sandy region which would be the site of a bloody confrontation 9 years later. The region till date contains shrapnel from that devastating encounter.
Omaha.
Omaha is correct. 9 years later, the Omaha beach storming of Normandy. Omaha is correct. Also a city in USA. The second direct. They are not lonely organisms, despite what the common name may suggest. Which arthropod's name comes from them carrying their home made of snail shells on their back to protect their soft abdomen. They take shells from other species that have no further use for them. When a new shell appears, they will stand in a queue to try it on.
Solitary crab.
Somasish.
Hermit crab.
Hermit crab is correct. Anupama, your directs. Finally, Out of P is the debut and the only album of which Oscar-winning actress. She even lends her voice to the film version of the song Black Sheep in Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. Her most iconic role is playing Carol Danvers, a US Air Force pilot turned space-traveling amnesiac who becomes imbued with godly superpowers.
Jennifer Lawrence.
No. Somasish?
Paquin.
What?
Paquin.
That is not that. Aniket?
Larson.
Larson is correct. This is Brie Larson. Carol Danvers is Miss Marvel.
Captain
Or
Marvel.
no, Captain Marvel. I'm sorry, Miss Marvel is someone else. Yeah. Anupama, your direct. Gustavo Santaolalla won his first Academy Award for Best Score for which 2005 movie starring Heath Ledger and Jake Gyllenhaal. Ang Lee won a Best Director Oscar for this movie as well.
Brokeback Mountain.
That is correct. Round 7 now is Somasish. Identify this show, helmed by Ryan Murphy, whose controversies included star Mark Salling getting arrested for child pornography and Leah Michelle being called out by cast members for bullying on set. The show's title is a style of song for men's voices in 3 or more parts, usually unaccompanied, that were popular in England in the late 18th, early 19th century.
A cappella.
Not a cappella. Anupama?
Glee.
Glee is correct. This is Glee. Somasish, your second direct. Gustavo Santaolalla made his Bollywood debut when he composed a score for which 2010 movie directed by Kiran Rao and co-produced by Amir Khan. Starring Pratik Babbar in the role of a launderer and Monica Dogra, it also featured a song composed by Ruichi Sakamoto.
Dhobi Ghat.
Dhobi Ghat is correct. Aniket, your directs. None of the world's national flags are as closely matched to each other as these two. While the Romanian flag, the flag below, dates from 1861 based on earlier versions of horizontal stripes, which country's flag, the flag on top, was first hoisted in 1959 on Independence from France. The country shares its name with the piece that you remove when you make a hole in a piece of paper or card.
Chad.
Chad is correct. Your second direct. Created by boxing promoter Mike Barrett in 1978 and featuring winners of World Snooker events over the past 12 months, which tournament has been won 4 times by Ronnie O'Sullivan. It shares its title with an award accorded to a sportsman in 1985 in Australia, a performance that brought a Bavarian automobile company into the Indian public consciousness, shall we say, like a tracer bullet.
Champion of Champions.
Nice answer. Champion of Champions, the one that Ravi Shastri won. after the World Series, I think. Champion of champions down under in Australia. Pranjal, you're direct. Which app whose name is derived from the term vendor mobile does the protagonist June use to split her bills with her friend Veena in Missing? Ikram Magdon Ismail and Andrew Cortina, who met as freshman year roommates at UPenn, came up with the idea of this app after Magdon Ismail forgot his wallet when visiting Cortina in New York in 2009 and had to rely on his friend to pay for everything upfront.
Venmo.
Venmo is correct. Second direct. This design from Digital Chronicle shows the year in which a revolutionary come politician was brutally murdered, far away from his home country. The one is stylized to represent a mountaineering axe, the weapon used to commit the crime. Who was murdered?
Trotsky.
Trotsky is correct. Anupama, you're direct. Plank vs. Lovecraft is a twin-stick shooter video game by Finnish studio 10 Tons, in which Lovecraft steals all of the titular scientist's inventions and uses them to open a dimensional gateway for the monsters described in his fiction. Which scientist do players control in the game, also the blank in the game's title, as they attempt to stop Lovecraft? The stealth is eerily reminiscent of actual happenings from the scientist's life.
Tesla.
Tesla is correct. This is Tesla. Second direct. False Messiah, Life and Times of Blank is a book by Mihir Bose about which former English footballer who has played for Chelsea, Tottenham, Queen's Park, among others. He also coached England from 1994 and came under scrutiny for his business dealings, which formed the crux of Bose's book.
I don't know. Pass.
Somasish,
Pass.
Aniket,
Pass.
Pranjal.
Pass.
So he's an English footballer called Terry Venables. Terry Venables. Round 8 starts with Somasish. Many movies, most based on books, are initially scheduled to film inside the Westminster Abbey. However, given that it is notoriously difficult to get permit to shoot there, which cathedral 165 miles away often plays a substitute for Westminster Abbey? Some examples are Da Vinci Code, the Young Victoria, the King. The name is shared with that of the surname of a head of state and a shade of green.
Durham.
I didn't hear you, Somasish.
Durham.
Durham. Aniket.
Lincoln.
Lincoln Cathedral is correct. This is Lincoln Cathedral. Shade of green, also the head of a state. Somasish is your second direct. Native American legend has it that the Great Spirit looked down favorably on this region and offered his blessing by touching it. What is the collective name of this group of 11 long, narrow bodies of water located south of Lake Ontario in New York, named after a part of the human anatomy? 2 words in answer.
God's fingers.
No. Pranjal?
Pass.
Anupama?
Finger Lakes.
Finger Lakes is correct. This is Finger Lakes. Both parts were required. Aniket, your directs. One of the applications of Ekman's work was in the airport security program by USS Transport Security Administration, TSA, to identify potential terrorists. Now it is known as BDA, Behavioral Detection Analysis. Until 2006, it was known by what fitting four-letter acronym? It has been criticized for racial profiling and subjected to thorough examinations.
Scan.
Could you repeat?
Scan. SCAN. Scan.
No. Pranjal?
Can't recall. Pass.
Somasish?
Pass.
Anupama?
Pass.
Not scan, but spot. It is screening of, just a second. Screening of passengers by observation techniques. Aniket, you're direct. Arguably the most widely acclaimed painting by Chua Miati is National Language Class in 1959, which portrays a group of Chinese students learning which Austronesian language.
Malay.
Malay is correct, also called Bahasa. Nice answer there. Pranjal, you're direct. Wicked Wisdom is a new metal band formed in 2002 by which actress? To promote their debut album, the band opened for Britney Spears' Onyx Hotel tour in 2004. The actress in question was certainly not in G.I. Jane. In 1987, she was busy filming Scream 2 and lending her voice to the animated film Princess Mononoke.
Smith. Jada Pinkett Smith.
Jada Pinkett Smith is correct. Second direct. Some 300 Lakota people were the victims in a massacre by US troops at which location in South Dakota on December 29, 1890. A seminal 1970 work by D. Brown about Native American subjugation by white settlers is titled Bury My Heart at blank blank, with the missing words here being the location of this massacre. Ten seconds, Pranjal.
Pass.
Somasish?
Wounded Knee.
Wounded Knee is correct. This is Wounded Knee. Last two questions of the quiz to Anupama. Shown here is a thoroughbred that won the Kentucky Derby in 1917 with his jockey Charles Burrell. Identify the horse who shares his name with a Persian polymath born in Nishapur, the initial capital of the Seljuk Empire. The polymath is associated with a poetic form involving quatrains, as well as one of the earliest solutions to the cubic equation.
Omar Khayyam.
Omar Khayyam is a nice answer. Quatrains means rubaiyat in not Hindi, I think, but in Urdu or something. Last question coming up. One of the earliest uses of cliffhanger in literature, even before the term was coined, was in the Middle Ages when a story would end every night on a cliffhanger, and this would prolong the life of the storyteller. How do we better know these stories?
1001 Arabian Nights.
1001 Arabian Nights is correct. And with that, we come to the end of the quiz. Congratulations,
Good
Aniket.
show, everyone.
Sure.
Yeah.
Thanks
Okay.
very much.
Sure.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks for the
Sure.
Pranjal, wait. So once you
See you,
stop
everyone.
first